Administrator calls for public comments. All registered meeting attendees who wish to speak must click on the raise hand icon. If participating by mobile phone, you will need to dial *9 to use the raise hand feature. When you are called upon, dial *6 to unmute your phone. Your phone number will be displayed in the live meeting. The hearing secretary will call on speakers to begin in order. Comments will be limited to 1 minute, and all members of the public will be limited to 1 comment per agenda item and 1 comment for non-agenda items. No responses is required from city staff or the hearing officer on any item not on today's agenda. And for the public's notice, the online written comment form previously used is no longer available for public comment. So all comments will be received live per the instructions that I just provided. And those instructions are also on the calendar, the events calendar on the city's website. So we'll begin today's hearing with a public forum. Hearing secretary, are there any registered participants in the online queue for general comments?
At this time, I do not see any registered for public comment.
Okay, thank you. So we will go directly then to the public hearing portion of the meeting. The hearing procedure and order of input will be as follows. I will first identify the project as described on the agenda. I will then ask staff to provide a brief report. The applicant or their representative will then have up to 5 minutes to speak and should identify themselves by stating their name for the record. If they do not wish to speak, they may waive their time. After the applicant or their representative has spoken, any member of the public who wishes to speak on the item may then provide testimony up to 2 minutes per speaker, either for or against the project. As previously explained, any member of the online audience who wishes to provide verbal comments live during today's hearing must first register to join the Zoom meeting. And again, those instructions are on the city's website. If you go to the homepage and then under the events calendar, there is a link to register for the meeting. Following comments from the public, the applicant may respond to public comments or make additional remarks for up to 5 minutes. So following that order, we will now have our first and only item for today's hearing. That item is a new exterior service yard. It's a minor site development permit, and this is located at 1621 Barber Lane. And we have our assistant planner, Avery Stark, here to provide the staff report. Staff.
Good morning, zoning administrator. My name is Avery Stark. Oh, okay, there's my PowerPoint. And I'm the assistant planner with the city of Milpitas. The item in front of you today is a minor site development permit for a newly proposed approximately 1,120 square foot equipment enclosure at the rear of an existing industrial building located at 1621 Barber Lane. Next. The aerial photo shows the general location of the site located in the southeastern corner of the city of Milpitas, just east of the I-80 interstate on the valley floor. The project site and neighboring properties are zoned MP for industrial park with an RE recreation and entertainment overlay. Next. The proposed new enclosure will be located again at the rear of the industrial building and replacing an existing enclosure. The project involves a new 12-foot tall chain link fence with gray vinyl slats, a steel beam canopy with a corrugated metal roof. Additionally, the applicant will be removing the existing fencing maroon slats and replacing them with the same gray vinyl slats to ensure consistency throughout the site. The applicant will not be removing any parking spaces from the site, and the project can meet the development standards associated within the MP Industrial Park and Recreational and Entertainment Overlay Districts, and requirements for equipment service enclosures regarding its height and materials. A minor site development permit is required for any new enclosure subject to review by the zoning administrator when it exceeds 200 square feet in size. Next. This site map shows the general location of the enclosure relative to the entire site located at the rear of the building, as the project location arrow indicates. Next. The findings to be made for a minor site development permit are listed above. One, the project is not visible to vehicles and pedestrians from the public right-of-way or the adjacent industrial businesses located to the south and west. The industrial business located most nearest to the west is 250 feet away from the project site and is screened by a row of existing trees, and the chain link fencing with gray vinyl slats around the enclosure provides additional screening. Two, the proposed enclosure is an efficient use of available space and will enable Venture Corp to efficiently screen equipment used in its operations. The enclosure will be complementary to the character of the industrial building and not compromise the park-like setting of the district. Three, the proposed enclosure is located again at the rear side of the building behind the existing structure and enclosed by materials and components of the existing industrial building. The modifications will not directly be visible from the front of the building and will not affect views from the surrounding properties in nearby industrial buildings. The project is categorically exempt from review under California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to CEQA guidelines section 15301 of an existing facilities, and as a separate and independent basis, section 15183 projects are consistent with the community plan, general plan, and the zoning. Staff recommends that the zoning administrator approve P-MS 20-0117 to allow the development of an approximately 1,120 square foot equipment enclosure adjacent to an existing 182,405 square foot industrial building on a 9.64 acre site located at 1621 Barber Lane, subject to the findings set forth in the report and the attached conditions of approval. This concludes staff's summary of the project. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Avery. And I don't believe the applicant is on. And Liz, recording secretary, do we have any comments in the queue for this one? Oh, for some reason, we're not hearing you.
There's no one in the queue pending public comment.
Great, thank you. So we'll close the public hearing. Appreciate the detailed staff report from staff. I appreciate you. You actually did you went over the findings very, very well. So you've done my job for me. And I think that's sufficient for the record. Clearly this proposed project, if you will, meets the findings for approval. One question, it looks like then the only reason then that this has come to the zoning administrator, rose up to zoning administrators because of the size of the enclosure. It was over, did you say 800 square feet?
It's 200 square feet. Anything exceeding 200 square feet for a new enclosure is brought to the zoning administrator for review.
Right. Otherwise, it would have been approved administratively, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, it meets all the findings. All right. With that, as a zoning administrator, I'll approve P-MS 20-0117 to allow the proposed equipment enclosure as described in the staff report. We appreciate the staff report and appreciate everyone's participation this morning. And I trust that you'll let the applicant know.
Well, yes, I have a voicemail. I have a voicemail, so I will let him know.
Okay. Yeah. We missed them this morning, but it's fine. It's a relatively minor project. So we'll go ahead and approve that. And that concludes, need my script back. I do need to read the legalese. So any person aggrieved by any decision of any board, commission, or department head to the city of Milpitas may appeal the decision to the city council by filing written notice of the appeal with the city clerk within 12 calendar days of the date of said decision and paying the required fee. This time limit shall be strictly enforced. This concludes the administrative hearing of October 8th, 2020. Again, thank you everyone for your participation this morning. And thank you, Mike and Rochelle, as always, for supporting the meeting.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.